All right. So today, welcome back to Gathering Folds. Today I'm talking about advanced resources. And this is also a way to access a whole bunch of more patterns that are never going to show up on your Instagram feed. They're never going to be in a crease pattern bundle. They might make it into an Advent of Tess um, like an Advent of Tess ebook, but these are not going to be the patterns that you, actually that one is particularly suited for today's topic. These are not going to be the patterns that you see me talk a lot about publicly, because these are patterns that I've folded quickly, that I've just made sure there's a photo of, or photos of the front and back with and without backlighting. And these are also patterns that may have been, like this one, designed in live workshops, like in advanced twist techniques. So let's hop over and take a look at the first of these resources that I want to talk about, which is Tessellation Garden. Tessellation Garden is where I put all of my designs. You can see here there's over 700. That number is not quite precisely the number of tessellations. It also includes the pages for skill progressions and organization. Let's zoom in on all of that, make it a bit easier to read. So inside of Tessellation Garden, there are so many different patterns to work with. We can go ahead and jump in, and this takes us to the beginning of the skill progressions, where we're talking about, okay, what are the measures of difficulty in a pattern, and how should you progress through them? So what this chart means is that if you want to fold something in the 2B category, you need to have practiced stuff in 2A, and you need to have practiced stuff in 1B. So you want to practice both of those before feeding into the higher difficulty level. And there's all kinds of guidance to help you in these options. And actually, one thing I want to point out here, Project Planning Masterclass. This is another resource that I'll talk about in a moment, is included with Tessellation Garden. This is where you learn all about the rotated grids, all about how do you go from a crease pattern drawn on 64 grid divisions to a plan of how to fold a particular pattern, and to know, okay, I am aligning the repeats, or I am aligning the tiling breaks, or these repeats are aligned with the tiling breaks. And so you get a more thorough understanding if you're thinking things through in this planning mode. But what we have in Tessellation Garden is a whole bunch of different ways of organizing the patterns. So we have the individual tilings, and let's just take the galaxies tiling, for example. This has 2 different patterns in it right now, and you get to see right away on this page the what the pattern looks like. And then let's say you want to fold Stormy Seas. You go in and you see, okay, here's a more detailed look. You see what category it's in, next easier, next harder. There's the PDF with the full crease pattern, photos of the front and the back, some more details about the pattern, including the rotation. And you can also go and say, okay, I want to look and see if there's any videos about the Stormy Seas pattern. So you go to this organization page and then open up the spreadsheet, which we can also zoom in on. And this has the patterns, the tilings, what kind of family within the tiling they're part of, the difficulty level, what courses they appear in. And there's a lot that are not in any of the courses, whether they appear in Advent of Tess, and then any videos. And these also link back to the page we were just on for the pattern itself. So I can come in here and search Stormy. Okay, there I found Stormy Seas, and I can see, oh, there was a video that had Stormy Seas in it. And so I can go ahead and open that up. I won't right now because it would play audio, and we don't need to do that again. And then you can go to that page and get the download for the pattern. You can also check the things around it, see if there's anything there you'd like to fold, and just generally get a sense of the variety of excuse me. Yeah. The variety of patterns that are available inside of Tessellation Garden. And we can look here at just the sheer number of patterns. And so the first line is headers. There's 710 different patterns in Tessellation Garden right now as of the update this past week. And then the next resource is the Project Planning Masterclass. So this is what helps you take each of those patterns in Tessellation Garden and turn it into a perfectly rotated grid, have a border if that's possible for the pattern. And so we can go through all of these topics. These are coming from 2 different live sessions. And if I ever come up with something new in terms of planning your grid, this is where I'm going to put it. So this does get updated. Actually, on that topic, in Tessellation Garden, I do update frequently. So you can see there was the original version in August 2023, and there have been many updates since then. And yeah, so Project Planning Masterclass is included in Tessellation Garden. The other thing is that Tessellation Garden has a cool feature. Well, not so much a feature of the collection of patterns, but of how you can get it. So any money that you've spent on my crease patterns, whether that's an Advent of Tess ebook, a crease pattern bundle, one of my other ebooks like Summer of Twists, you can count that towards the purchase of Tessellation Garden. And there's enough crease pattern bundles and Advent of Tess ebooks out there that you could earn the whole thing. And right now, the cost per pattern is sitting around 30 cents. So there's There's a lot that you can get out of Tessellation Garden, and I'm adding more every couple months. So you really never run out of cool patterns to fold. And like I mentioned earlier, that's really the only way to get a lot of the patterns in this box. And then last but certainly not least is advanced twist techniques. So this is where I first present any new ideas that I come up with. I started advanced twist techniques in 2021, talking about just the huge variety of different twists that are possible. Hybrid twists, general sizes of twists, compound twists, which you might also know as stacked twists, unusual twists that are not regular shapes, clustered twists like the triple triangle twist that I taught on YouTube a couple months ago, isoarea twists, isoarea only tiling, so that's a tiling topic, not a twist topic. And there's, so much to explore in that session. There was also a session the next year in 22. So looking at systems of twist, this is the number lines, mixed depth twists. I had Ben Parker in for a guest lecture on twist notation and modifications. And then I talked about expanded symmetries and design equations using the number lines of twists. And then we had a couple office hour sessions to integrate all that knowledge. Then in 23, I talked about twist modifications, designing from the inside out, designing from the outside in, again with a couple office hours. Last year I talked about infinite symmetry extensions, infinite tiling expansions, and pleat shifts and twist substitutions. So these are the latest topics that I've been coming up with on the math end of things, talking about how can we find more patterns in the tilings that we have. So that's topic number 1, infinite symmetry extensions. Topic number 2, how can we find more tilings that use the same center and then build on it in different ways. And then topic number 3, pleat shifts and twist substitutions. What are the areas where you can take a portion of a pattern and modify it slightly and get a new pattern? So these are 3 different methods for creating new designs, and they all yield very interesting results. And you can think about some of these symmetry extensions as local pleat shifts in the pattern. And so there's some crossover in those topics, but this is also a growing resource where anytime I come up with enough new theory, enough new material, then I put it in advanced twist techniques. So if you're curious about how to get your hands on these resources, they are all paid resources. And like I mentioned before, you can earn your way slowly to Tessellation Garden by getting other collections of crease patterns. So the Advent of Tess ebooks, the Summer of Twists ebook, the crease pattern bundles, the individual crease patterns, all at gatheringfolds.com. I also honor purchases made through Origami USA and Origami Shop, although I'll need like a screenshot of the receipt for that because it's not in my own record system. And you just send me an email. I'll send you a custom coupon and you're on your way. And then for advanced twist techniques, that is available all the time. It does go on sale when I'm doing a live session, but I don't know when the next one's going to be. So you can go to training.gatheringfolds.com/store or check out the links in the description below to get your hands on all of these resources. and start folding all of the patterns in this box of treasures that are not available any other way. And this is a very deep box. Like, let me just settle these in to show. Very deep box full of patterns that cannot be found any other place. So happy folding, everybody. And I hope you go and explore some advanced patterns. And I'd love to see what you fold next. See you later.